A good night of Shabbos. This Rosh Hashanah, I was asked to give a sermon in a different kind of synagogue than the one that I have. I had to walk close to an hour to get there, and because it was a different type of synagogue, I had to be able to address the people on their level while talking about the Torah. The synagogue rented space in what is called the Holocaust Museum of Detroit, and because it is a place which honors righteous Gentiles, I thought I would use this as part of my theme. And this is the story of a righteous Gentile that everyone can learn from. In 1939, the Germans had moved across all of Poland until they occupied even the eastern end. One of the small cities at the eastern end of Poland was a small town called Krasnabrod. Krasnabrod, a red beard, was so named because there were so many Jews with red beards in it. The Bergsteins, which I am one, had red beards. I too had a red beard prior to it deciding to become dyed white. The chazan in Krasnabrod was in the middle of his prayers when the Germans marched in to the synagogue. They immediately picked out the 10 oldest men of the community and shot them right in front of everyone, and then proceeded to take the chazan, the leader of the prayers, together with another 99 people who looked a little bit older, 100 people in all, marched them out in front of the entire community of several thousand into an open field. They were ordered to dig a ditch, a mass grave. And then they were ordered to take their clothing off. And just as the Germans were about to shoot, a Polish officer on a horse came riding quickly with a white flag, and he said, "Halt! According to the Geneva Convention, civilians are not to be killed in war." The German captain in charge of the group that had barged in and murdered those 10 men was a Wehrmacht. He had a certain sense of pride in the military. And he said, "Okay, you're right." And he ordered the chazan with the rest of the 100 to run across the field, and he shot over their heads, and they ran into the woods. And they spent that holy day of Yom Kippur, 1939, Tafshin 5700, naked in the woods. Jewish literature is filled with the annals and descriptions of great men and women. What distinguishes those great men and women from ordinary men and women? So many places they stress that they were more learned, they were more diligent in their studies, they were totally devoted, constantly 24/7 to God, more than anyone else. And I personally beg to differ. While it could be, and it probably is true, that the great prophets were people who were devoted 24/7 and very learned, very brilliant, very assiduous, but more than the great learning and the devotions was that these people were people of action, who took actions when it was necessary. When the chips were down, they were there, and they did what had to be done at that moment without hesitation. That's what Moses was like when he saved the man from the Egyptian. That's what he was like when he fought against the kings of Canaan and when he battled against Pharaoh. And that's what Abraham was when he decided to take on the 4 largest armies of the Middle East to save his nephew Lot. That's what Joseph was when he revealed himself to his brothers, knowing full well that they might kill him. It is character that counts, and character that stands up when it's necessary to stand up. And this Polish officer, he didn't have to put his life in danger. They might have shot him as well. He had just been defeated in battle. They might take him captive. Who says that they would listen? Maybe he should mind his own business. But instead took his life into his own hands, and at that moment, that crucial moment, acted. And that's what sets this righteous Gentile apart from others. I don't know the name of this Polish officer. Perhaps someone out there would look up the Polish officer who lived in Krasnabrod in 1939 and saved the lives of that chazan and 99 other men. And you know how I know that story? I am the grandson of that chazan.